always ready to blow me down.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the Britcher FM channel. Today I've got a bit of a different one, seeing as, well, this will probably be coming out about a week and a half or 2 weeks after it actually happened, but seeing as the England under-20s have recently been crowned, if you like, as the under-20 World Cup champions, I decided to do an experiment here and see how that team would get on within 5 years of Football Manager. So I've started them off in League 2 at Stevenage. Obviously they're all red here because I've got them on my shortlist just so I can keep track of them. What I've done though is I've done a few little different bits. So for a start, I've given them obviously quite a big finance and wage budget, but that doesn't really matter for a bit because you'll see it in a second. But I've given them 20 in all facilities because, the fact that they would have been at the bigger clubs and they would have inevitably been in the England setup, they would have been getting the top facilities. So I thought if I give them more for facilities, they're not going to really, blemish as players, are they? They're going to be a bit more, withdrawn by this. But what I've done is Stevenage as a whole, I've given them a transfer ban. So literally, they have to use England players, and it'll be really interesting because obviously, usually, or in this day and age, England isn't really renowned for being the best nation. Obviously, don't get me wrong, they've never really been up there in terms of the top one or two, but you'd like to think that the Premier League, 10 to 15 years ago was purely English players, and now you're lucky if you find one or two in a team. So I thought it was going to be really interesting to kind of look at them now and, see how they progress. Because obviously this is League 2. I would like to think they could breeze this division, at least finish first. 100% I think they should get promotion because, their players, the standards, they'd be getting loaned out probably to League 1 or 2 teams anyway. But high end, players like Adam Armstrong, he's done it in the Championship quite well as well. Doesn't have it on here, but Barnsley, the season that is just now gone, he had a really good season there. The likes of Lewis Cook, obviously playing at Bournemouth, Adam Lookman, not only doing it in League 1 for Charlton, but also having a good little stint in the last 10 games of the Premier League. Sherry Ojo, again, doing it for Liverpool when he's been asked, obviously that be it cups and also other competitions. But the general consensus of this team is that they are quite a good little young team, and obviously that is shown by the fact that they did win the World Cup. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop after every single year. What I won't show you, but I'm going to have breaks in between, so like the January transfer windows, everything, just to make sure that they are actually still at the club. Because even though I've put a transfer embargo on Stevenage, of course they don't have there's no embargo to say that they can't sell players. So that means that these players, especially when you've got the likes of Adam Lookman, who has just vanished from Everton, if you'd like, people are going to want to sign them because they're top quality players and they're in League 2. So no, I'll make sure that I stop to keep them here. But no, I'll be really interested to say. I'm going to give a kind of a hypothesis there of what might happen. I'd probably say after 5 years it'd be a mid-table Premier League team. I think they're not going to breeze through every single division. I think they'll have one season where they don't go up, and I think that'll be their first year in the Championship. I think they'll win League 2, come second in League 1, and then they'll finish around 12th in the Championship, and then they'll go up in the playoffs probably after that, even though it's really specific. But if it comes true, then I'm amazing. And then the Premier League, I reckon they'll do quite well, because I think obviously there's going to be a big leap from how they actually are to what their potential is. Because if they've got a huge potential, then that could be unlocked in one season and they could just have a really good year. To be fair, any team that can finish mid-table in the Premier League, I don't really care what you say. I think they've got to be a class team because it is such a tough division. You look at teams like Stoke, and the players they've got. And they only just do it every year, so I guess that shows you a lot. But anyway, I'm going to now skip into the future, a year, and we'll see where they are. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are at the end of the season. Obviously, like I said, I've checked, and just to make sure that no players have left, and, well, obviously they haven't. So, yeah, it's just, let's go straight into it. And as you can probably tell by that, and if I go to the stages and I go to league table, they won the league and they pretty much smashed it. The top 3 get promoted and they finished, I put it this way, a lot higher than Exeter, who finished on 77th, only losing 7 games, which, to be fair, they actually did a lot better than what I thought, just shy of 100 points, which is quite frustrating, to be honest. If we have a look at their schedule for a start, you'll see actually really their first kind of, loss of the season come just 2 games into Millwall. They just missed out in that one. However, from what I can see here, they obviously did quite well in the Checker Trade Trophy. They also lost to Hartlepool at home, Wickham away, Cheltenham away. Obviously, if you want to, you can pause the results here and have a look at each individual ones. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but no, they did actually lose in the Trade Trophy South, 3rd round, 2-1 to the Chelsea under-23s. It doesn't really surprise me. These under-23 teams are just crazy with some of the youth talents and youth prospects that are coming through. I mean, half of them are in this team. People like Dominic Solanke, they're all in that Chelsea team. But anyway, regardless, Wickham beat us. I have a feeling, we got doubled this year by Wickham, and Wickham finished 2nd. So, to be fair, that is, I guess, fair enough. If you're going to lose 21, you might as well lose to 2nd place. Our heaviest defeat was probably this one here, 3-1 away at Blackpool, which wasn't too good, but, I guess you win some, you lose one. You win some, you lose some, sorry. Exeter was probably our biggest win, 4-0. It was quite good. If we look at the team... Oh. Yep, sorry. Oh, God. Just maybe wonder there, because everyone's in red. Obviously, they've brought in some players for their youth system. But if we have a look at goals, and... Well, that explains a lot. All 3 strikers obviously up there, which you'd want to see. Ademola Lookman obviously a little bit further down, but he's technically not classed as a striker on this game. Anyway, Adam Armstrong, 7.36 rating, which is very good. 26 goals, 12 assists, very good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 17 goals, 2 assists, 7 overall average rating. Again, very good. The amount of goals that they're scoring. But to be honest, just looking here, Joshua Anoma, what about that? 13 goals, 20 assists. And same for Lewis Cook, 8 goals and 14 assists. I mean, that is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the team they played the majority of the time, I take it was Freddie Woodman in goal, even though it doesn't say here. John Joe Kenny, Jake Clark Salter, Carl Walker Peters, James Boothby, who must have come through as a youth team prospect. Then you got Anoma and Cook, who I think will in the future definitely, be an incredible centre-mid partnership. And then obviously Ademola Lookman, and then the strike force of Armstrong and Solanke. Obviously Calvin Lewis did get quite a few games, but he got 32 off the bench, which to come off on the pitch 32 times and still score more than Dominic Solanke, it's quite funny, to be fair. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. People like Solanke at 2.1 million. I mean, they're attracting all kind of teams, and that really does not surprise me at all, because they are all really good players. Obviously Sherry Ojo, another one who I thought would be quite good. He played all 50, got 8 and 8. I guess that's an alright return. What I would say is that going off this kind of first season, I'd definitely say there's a lot more attacking and defensive kind of players in this team. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did only concede 41, which actually wasn't the lowest in the league. It was second place Wickham who got the lowest, but we did score 93 goals, which is, just to put in comparison, the team with the second highest was also Wickham with 70, so we got 23 more goals than them, which in this grand scheme of thing over the whole kind of season is a lot of goals. I mean, we're the most coming against 7 in kind of overall against Exeter, 6 against Cambridge and Cornwall. I mean, some crazy scorelines we got here. But no, for a first season, I'm not too surprised, but I'm quite pleased with how it turned out, because obviously they have done well. I'm going to go another year into the future, see how that goes, and then that'll be the end of episode 1. Obviously, yeah, like I said, this will be a full 5-year term, so let's just get into the next year. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are at the end of the season now. It'll be interesting to see how we did. Obviously, like I said, I did stop it at the start of the and end of both transfer windows, just to see how we were getting on. And well, 1 or 2 people did move. So if we have a look, Stevenage, as you can see, for a start, they did indeed win League One, which is fantastic. I mean, 97 points, 2 points off, I do believe, where they finished last season. So for a whole league to just finish 2 points less was brilliant. Obviously, they won the total by 12 points, which is a very big amount. I mean, that's 4 wins, which is a huge difference. Obviously, 9 losses, bit disappointing. I feel like with the team we have, that could have been a little bit lower. But let's look more into the schedule. As you can see, we started off with a good win here against Reading, 2-0 in the EFL Cup first round, which is very good. Then we've got Wolves. We lost on pens, that's a shame, but then against penalties, it can go either way to hold, a championship team, I do believe. Oh, sorry, a Premier Division team to penalties is very good. So I didn't expect Wolves to go up last season. As you can see, an alright start, wins completely up until the Bradford City game where we lost 3-2 at home, which was quite disappointing. We got out of our group for the Chickatrade Trophy. Obviously, like I say, if you want to pause this to see any results, because I can't go through all of them, please do. I'm just going through the ones that I think are a bit more important. They got through the group, and once again, they lost in the third round South third round, however you like to say it, to MK Dons this time, who are actually finished 4th in our division, so a lower team to us, 2-1 away, which is disappointing. And then really from that point we had a rough patch at the end of the season. Peterborough lost, 2 draws, 1 to MK Dons, 1 to Coventry. Rochdale we lost to, Gillingham, and then 2 losses on the bounce. I mean, that period there from MK Dons to Bolton, those 3 games where it's not what we want to see at all, completely unlike what we've seen so far. So hopefully we won't see that next season. But if we go into the team, I did make a mistake, because like I showed you before, Dominic Solanke and Lewis Cook did get resent back to the club. I didn't actually allow squad registration any time on, which means that they actually from the start of the season haven't actually played a single game of football, because I forgot to see if they registered, so it was a silly mistake. I would have thought the club would have had a chance to do it, but either way, it just shows how good the team was, because I mean, they absolutely smashed it. I mean, John Joe Kenny, unsung hero, 7.3 rating in 51 games, which to keep that up is phenomenal. Adam Armstrong as well, 50 games, or 49 games, sorry, 28 goals, 9 assists. That's 37 like game involvement in 49 games, which, you know, in any division is brilliant. Obviously, just getting better and better. Joshua Onoma, I mean, 56 games, 12 goals, and 30 assists, which is an honestly incredible number for any save on Football Manager. 30 assists is unbelievable. You know, there's no wondering why clubs like Everton want this kid when he's doing this. Calvert Lewis had a very good season in front of goal as well. 20 goals, 2 assists, 6.93 rating again. I mean, overall, the team just played phenomenal again. I mean, I'm really excited to see how they get on. I actually did predict that they wouldn't finish very well in the next season in the Championship. I said about 12th, but with how we're progressing, how the team is, I'd like to say we could maybe nick a playoff spot. I don't think we're good enough to win the league. I probably don't think we're good enough to come second. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. But anyway, this brings to the end of the part 1. I will be releasing a part 2 at some point. However, the more likes you hit, you know, the better response I get from this. I will be releasing it sooner. I really am looking forward to doing this. I think it's going to be very good. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have any, you know, suggestions or you want to give some constructive criticism towards my videos, please drop that down in the comments below. I want to start out. I want to do this the right way, and I'd like to see how you'd like me to do it. But no, like I said, it's been Britcher FM here. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later.